Welcome to this AlphaCam Express presentation, Geometry Preparation for Machining. A fundamental within AlphaCam is the concept of open and closed geometries. Obviously the one at the top is an open geometry and the one at the bottom is closed. The key thing with closed geometries is the start point and end point are the same. Now I wish to produce this top rail using this tool. Now I can do that with both of these geometries, either with the open one or the closed, and we're going to show you the differences. So we'll load our drawing, swept top rail, and I wish to machine that with this tool, so we select that tool. Now if I switch on under display options Ghost Tools, we'll see the Ghost tool is displayed on both these geometries. This signifies the start point on the open geometry and the start and finish point on the closed geometry. I have a machining style, swept top rail, that I'm going to apply to this selected geometry. We'll then come into the simulation and we'll simulate this. If we view this from the top, it becomes more obvious that we're actually machining that straight on top of that line. Now I'd like that tool to be offset to the right of the line. So going to tool directions under machine, it was on center for an open geometry. We'll now set it to the right. We'll close that, we'll come into our operations, and there's a little asterisk now next to that operation, which means I can update it. And the toolpath then updates and comes to the outside. However, it may be that I wish to machine in this direction to climb cut on this part. So again, I come back into my tool directions. I want to reverse to the left. Select my geometry. My ghost arrow now showing to the left of this open geometry. I close that. We come into our operation and we update. We can then come back into simulation and we'll simulate again. Now it's good practice to actually set your tool directions before you apply any toolpaths. So I've come into that operation and I'll just delete it, and then I came into my machining style and I applied this now to selected geometries. Having already got the tool directions correct, it then applies the tool in the right orientation to the right side of the line. I did say to the right side of the line, what I actually meant was the right side but the left. Now by the left or the right generally means in the direction that you're traversing. So I'm cutting at this point now to the left of that line. If I reversed it looking in the direction of cut, I will be cutting to the right of the line. I'm going to just switch off this toolpath, and under CAD we will hide this part. So now we'll focus on the closed geometry. Now currently the start point and finish point is in this bottom right hand corner. Now I want to start in that bottom right hand corner, but I want to come across from right to left. So I'll come into my tool directions and it's a closed geometry. So at the moment that is set on counterclockwise. That's the orientation that it's going around the part. Well, I want to go clockwise. I've got the option of saying on the outside, that's correct. If I went counterclockwise on the outside, then is that what you'd see? I could also say clockwise to the left. Close. We'll now reapply our machining style to this closed geometry. And if we simulate that, we can then see we've got our tool. We look from the top, we're quite obviously offset to the left, or put another way, we're going clockwise to the outside of that closed geometry. Now that machined all the way around this part, but I actually only want to machine along that front edge. So there's a couple of ways we could do this. I could come back in here and select break under edit geometry. and I will break this geometry at the end of here. I can then come back into that operation and we'll update it, and it now knows just to machine that section. Another way, if I just undo that, so I undid the update toolpath and also the break, and we'll just delete that toolpath. If we come in back into rough and finish and apply this manually, there's an option there of partial. Now what partial does, it allows me then to select a part of the geometry, not the whole of it. So I want to machine from the end of here to the end of here. So we'll press F6 for the end point of to the end point of. I haven't had to break that geometry, it's still a closed geometry, but I've only machined a partial amount of that. We'll now take a look at some of the options we've got with respect to these commands of automatic for pockets and automatic for cutouts on closed geometries, and the settings start point on closed geometries, either doing that manually or automatically. So we'll load these doors, lead doors. We can see that the tool directions on center line on all of them. So we'll come into tool directions, and I want to go, we'll try this automatic for pockets. Now that's put it actually on the wrong side, so let's try the automatic for cutouts. And that then automatically puts these on the outside and these on the inside. I'd now like to try and change the start point to the middle of these lines. So we'll just go on to no change here, onto auto, and for the outside I want it to be in the middle of the longest edge. We'll say all geometries. So we've got that there on the middle of the outside of the longest edge on the outside, and on the inside we'll try again, let's say the middle of the longest edge again. So these are okay. The only one that hasn't done that is this one, because this arch is longer than this edge. So we'll come back to manual and we'll select the F6 endpoint of there. This concludes this preparation for machining presentation of AlphaCam Express. We showed you how you could set open geometries to the left or the right, how you can reverse that, how you can do the same then for closed geometries, and how you can apply partial toolpaths using the tool at the bottom. We then looked at the differences between automatic for pockets and automatic for cutouts, and also used the set start point on closed geometries for automatically selecting the midpoint of longest edges. Thank you for your time.